Hey, how you doing? Happy weekend for everyone. I am going to wait just a couple minutes for you guys to know that I'm alive and check that I can read your comments. Sometimes I cannot when I'm alive for whatever reason. And at the same time that the sound, it's okay that you guys hear me because today I would like to give like a free class about light language. So any questions you have about the language of the light, the codes, how I can understand it, mm, should I share them or not, what's happening, how I see them, where they come from, because I do have a lot of questions after meditations or in my posts, and I would like to clarify from my own point of view because maybe other person has a different definition, and that's fine. But when I started doing light language, I had no idea what it was. I had to figure it by myself. I was in a dark night of the soul, one of the many I have had, like many of you. So please let me know if the sound is okay. Just like with a like or a comment or an emoji, whatever. Share with me where are you from. And this session is going to be healing. Thank you, Mai. Thank you, Mai, for being here. It's gonna be healing if you need healing. It can be an activation if you wanted to. So set your intentions. What could benefit me to know more about light language or to activate it? And set your intention throughout your guys. Welcome, Jessica. Thank you so much for being here. Looks like I am reading your messages. So please share with me if you have any questions, things that you see, what happened, why light language was activated in so many people. Because I have clients that they woke up 6 months ago and they are already channeling light language when in the old energy, in ancient times, you needed to be a yogi or a priest and learn a lot of different techniques and do a lot of effort because the veil did not allow spirit or galactics or beings of light or all kinds of beings to come through. So it was harder for us to connect to wish whatever we wanted. But the bell is gone now, so it's easy to channel like it happened to me. I had my Reiki 1, 2, 3, and then the master in 1 month online, like everyone. And I taught because they had a paper that says that I was a Reiki master. I was already a healer, and I wasn't because I didn't know how to heal. I needed to practice, right? But it was for the highest good because it opened my mediumship. So I didn't know how to understand why I could see dead people, for example, or spirit or elemental beings that freak me out, or shadows, or lights around people, or beings that sometimes were so magical that I had to draw them. And I didn't draw like I draw today because I never study, I never took classes. I just want to show people, hey, I'm seeing this. What do you think it is? Because I was clueless. I had no idea what was happening to me. And then the information that people were given to me confused me more. Some people said your frequency is so low that you are seeing shadows and entities, and I felt horrible. My self-esteem went to the top. And then other people says that I should use crystals, so I purchased a lot of crystals. Thank you for being here. And didn't work. I still see them. I was doing meditations only with angels at that time. I didn't know that I was a starseed. And then I said, if I protect myself with 100,000 angels, windows, I sage, I put water roses, crystals, salt, all the things that I could find online that would work. Why I was still being woken up by those entities, and I was seeing stuff like patterns of light, sacred geometry, language. Like sometimes I'm gonna show you something. sorry for the noise. So when I was in the middle of my meditation, in 1 second, I saw kind of like this, and then it was gone. And I was, what is that? What's happening? Right? So, because I had a lot of resistance and I was very afraid because people said that spirits, dark spirits, could use my body when I was meditation or doing astral travel, that could be insidious or things, use me for sexual purposes, that if I do galactics, they were reptilians and grays, and they will use me, so get my ex, so they will do hybrid whatever things. And I was just like, just everything that I was trying to figure it out what was happening to me, thank you, it was like deepening to the darkest night of the soul. And then whatever technique I was using, that it was kind of like a training, it wasn't working at all. I have shared this many times because I needed to go through that, and it was started in December and it ended before the next year summer solstice. And it ended when I give up forcing what I think it was happening and surrender to the whole weird thing, and then give it a try, and try to figure out what myself. And the way that I could figure it out, because neither my friends, neither the person that I was asking, because I was just starting in this, whatever advices, it wasn't working. And it wasn't working because the lesson wasn't learned. I wasn't trusting that it was safe to open myself for that. Yes. So the symbols that I was seeing like this, it was because the guys were saying, hey, this is what we're gonna do on your aura. It's kind of like asking for permission. Like they're letting you know that they hold you, that they have you, they have that kindness and the courtesy to show you what's going on, because maybe it comes from your guides, maybe it comes from soul aspects. I hope that makes sense. So when I give up and I say, okay, I'm done with this, I'm gonna figure it out by myself, I started drawing this Sharpie paper normal, and then I was sending them to Messenger asking for people that could lead me to what was happening to me, because in dreams I was seeing me speaking. I had a dream with an Acturian, and we were kind of like doing a job interview, if that makes sense. It was kind of like all indigo, and then me, thank you so much for the stars, and the Acturian. And then I was asking, like, who are you? Like, if I had a reading, and they said, we are Acturians. And I say, why do I know you? Because I'm you from another dimension. And I was like, so what name do you have? And then Davin says, we don't have names, we have frequency, but you can call me Maya. And things like that. So I started using the advantage to get information from beings. Like, who are you? Show yourself, things like that. And it was how I figured out that it was safe for me, and that sometimes these scary things wasn't scary things. It was just my perception. Like when we're seeing a curtain moving by the wind, and then because between the shadows of the night looks as if it is a ghost, but maybe it is nothing. I hope that makes sense. And because I had a lot of resistance and fear, and I felt very lacking of power, because I didn't know how to. I taught my mind. Thank you so much, Elchi. Needed to have steps so I would follow, so I would figure it out, and it isn't, because light language, it isn't from. It is not made from this reality, because otherwise we will all speak it from born. In this reality, we have languages that belong from our country, from our tribe, from our people. You can learn all the languages. And then we have letters and symbols, like the stop symbol that we all know. So we have certain agreements for things that are symbology, that are codes that we all use, that we all understand, that we all know, may not be codes of the light, like the stop sign, but everyone, when see a stop sign, know what it is. At least the majority of the people that lives in the city, perhaps, if that makes sense. If we see a money symbol, like the S and like the line, we all know it's about money. Or if something do like that, you know that it's like thumbs up, like for example, my daughter, because she's 12, the signs that she's doing with her hands reflect emojis, if that makes sense, because it's kind of like how teenagers do right now. It's all about emojis and new words that they invent for things that it's happening in their reality. I hope that makes sense. Like, for example, they use like POV, that it is my point of view. So when someone shares something on TikTok or on Instagram, because they say Facebook is for all people, and maybe it is, or whatever app, they comment something and they say, but this is my point of view. So things like that, that they are their codes, if that makes sense. So a code is something that upon agreement, it could be between God and you, between your country, your people, your race, or the world. We all decide that that piece of symbol or something means something, like the infinite symbol or the heart symbol or the star symbol or the square or the triangle, if that makes sense, or numbers. I hope that makes sense. Let me see if I have questions from these. And the whole session, it will be healing, even though I'm not doing light language right now, if you wanted to, because frequency is being emanated from a guide to you. So if you want to, you guys can set the intention. And give me a minute. So I can check if I have any questions. So what light language is? Well, you didn't start with that. Light language, it is the language of the light. Whose light? Source light, through my soul, through my own experience. My light language is unique to everyone else. Even if I want to imitate someone, it's not going to be, because my soul is not that someone else's. So we may have resonance. Sometimes I hear people doing light language and I feel like, God, I love it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's coming from, but maybe it is because we have similarity in our frequency, so we're going to match that. That's why, even though we are clueless in the mind, our heart or our soul is going to feel like, I heard that before. It feels good. If something that you see in an image or in a light language make you feel something positive that raises your frequency, it is how you can discern that that is something that it is from the light. Because a child could do this, and maybe it's not channeling, maybe it's calligraphy, maybe it's trying to improve its writing. So the vibration is not about what I am drawing, if that makes sense, or what you could draw. It's about what we feel when we see them. So if maybe these were channeled from my guides, but if someone is not into light language, they're not going to mean anything for them, if that makes sense, because it's not part of their soul contract. This is what I think. I know there are some definitions about light language is a galactic ancient communication system. I think this is a little bit outdated because it's not from galactics, it's from us, it's from my soul. But my soul has a galactic aspect that comes through my higher self and my soul and speak Arcturian, kinda, because it is what I can understand, what I can integrate, what I can perceive from the Arcturian aspect of me that comes through. I hope that makes sense. It is like, for example, I remember that my son was 4, and one day he asked me, "Ma'am, what is sex?" And I was just like, right? And I was like, "Why? Where do you hear it?" So I asked questions and then I explained in a way that a 4-year-old would understand. But maybe if someone asks that in its 20s or 18, the answer is going to be more graphic or more detailed or different, if that makes sense. So maybe the Arcturian light language, I can perceive it as a 4-year-old because this is where I am ready. And sometimes if I restrict the channel because I'm afraid or insecure or I have low self-esteem or I don't feel confident or afraid or whatever, and I'm not trusting my channel and I will force it, is going to be more dim and dim and dim and dim. If you feel drawn to light language, like I was kind of forced to do it, the best advice, because I felt shame, I felt insecure when I started doing videos. I didn't want it to people to see what I was doing because I felt so alien doing it, and I was insecure because I don't have a great voice like a singer, whatever. And I was hearing those songs, that music, that I said, gosh, I wish I could have voice so I could tell people how the angels sound, how Pleiadians sound or something. And then the more I let go what my mind and strengths and lacks believe it should be, the more I flow with it. So when I started doing this page, it wasn't because I want to save anyone or teach anyone. I wanted to show the world, kind of like a diary, what was happening to me, and maybe someone will resonate with what was happening, if that makes sense. At the beginning, and I procrastinated like a year or two to open the page because I was embarrassed, I was insecure, I was not even using my name. I was using my middle name on Facebook, that it was Caroline, as so many people still call me Caroline because it's my second name. Because I didn't want people to know Gretel, if that makes sense. But the more I did it, the more confident I feel with Gretel. And one day I said, you know what? Fuck, I'm just gonna be myself. I have to honor myself. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to allow myself to be myself and then understand that uniqueness that I have, that I always have had, so I can ease myself and feel comfortable in my own skin. And at that moment, I remember that I was in a family dinner with my Christian, very traditional, judgmental family, and I told him, okay, this is happening to me. I believe in this. And my surprise it was that they already knew because they love me and they sort of like the ones that are parents, my son and daughter, don't have to tell me things. I kind of already know because my intuition tells me if something is right or wrong, if that makes sense. So they kind of know, they kind of make peace with it, and then they say, we already know, it's okay, go ahead. If it's what you want to do, we don't like it, but if you like it, go for it, right? And it was, for me, it was like a relief. It was just like, oh, because I felt like I was gay trying to go out of the closet, and in reality, all those stories that I was doing in my mind were not real, because the page went big and then it became my job, and at the same time as the way for me to grow and learn and meet a lot of people and have those beautiful connections that we can have. And I think I'm growing with you guys and you guys grow with me. I hope And I never expected this. It was never part of what I wanted to manifest. But when I allowed the universe to show me the way, what the universe had for me, it was way better than what I expected I could be. And then opening the YouTube channel, I didn't really like another year was like, no, no. And then I said, okay, I will, but I'm not going to put my face on it. And here I am. I'm all over the place, right? So trust your own ways. If you would like to do light language, you will know when it's meant to be shared. You know what it's meant just for you, like an intimate connection with your soul, with your guides, or whoever comes through, and when it's something that is shareable. But before doing any light language, because light language can come in three forms: sound, symbology. Symbology, it is how the sound moves. I hope that makes sense. And movement. So they're kind of one and the same, but they express in different way. Like for example, when I heal myself, I do yoga, I breathe, I relax, I tune into my body, what I feel, the pose you do, what I should stretch, and it's like loving myself, if that makes sense, because I sense my body and then I say, oh my god, my shoulder feel heavy, and then I move, and then sometimes I'm gonna go deeper in that connection between me, my soul, my body, my guides, my breathing, that I'm gonna start moving like I'm dancing. And this is how light language flow through me. It's not only the way that I show you guys, because for me it's kind of like my sacred way to connect, and I love it because at the end it just like it's so beautiful, like I'm in heaven, and then I go to sleep. But at the same time, if that is activated, like people sometimes ask me, my hands start doing like that, or I feel like doing like that, if it's the way it's flowing through you, let it be, to see where it evolves. Like me and Encoded Frequency, it wasn't what I wanted, it wasn't what I thought it was a good for me, but it ended being a great thing for me, a marvelous thing for me, and maybe it is a good thing for many of you, the ones that resonate with me. So if you feel drawn to, if you are here today, it's most likely because you feel drawn to whatever type of light language. Then let it be as it's meant to flow through you, because it's the only way that you allow source to flow through. Not because you cannot do all the ways or the same things that I do. We're all capable channel or doing light language. It's not that you learn, it's more that we remember, and it can be activated out of the blue, like happened to me, or it could be gradually. The fact that light language or a guided meditation do not make you feel anything, it is not mean that you at some level are receiving that frequency, if that makes sense. Like for example, sound, this sound will travel through all of us and will harmonize whatever vibration we do not have in harmony. These type of things where you can do sound with your mouth as a light language or with a tool, re-educate our own vibration so we feel like it is healing, but in reality it is, we recalibrate our whole chakras, if that makes sense. But this sound is still sounding in a dimension or a state we're able to hear it with our physical ears, if that makes sense. The fact that many of you don't see my aura or my codes or my guides, it doesn't mean I don't have them or you guys don't have them. It's just we don't have that channel active yet. But all comes with confidence and practice, because the more you do it, when you do light language throughout sound and movement and even symbology. I become like I am a guitar. So my whole body is like a harmonic resonance that allow the sound in whatever way it's meant to flow. Because when I am doing drawings or codes, I channel. Sometimes it is too much, so I cannot do that many drawings because it's like meditating for hours, if that makes sense. Because for me, the drawing tell me the message. I don't know until the drawing is finished. Things will pop up from the drawing, and then I say, I think it's, and then I'm gonna write whatever channeling will come through. I hope that makes sense. But let's say that this is you doing light language. So you start like this, but your resistance is gonna be like this. So it's gonna cut the flow of the light or the sound or the frequency through you. This is what happens when we block ourselves. We are like this, and then we diminish the effect. Does that make sense? I hope this is the way that I see it. So where does it come from? It's not Pleiadian, it's not Arcturian. It comes from my Arcturian soul, my Pleiadian soul, my angelic, my Mary Magdalene, my Jesus, my reptilian, or whatever it is in my oversoul that's coming through me, that my higher self agrees that it's a good thing, that that frequency will come through. When I'm doing channeling for you guys, I have different like 3-4 beings that kind of show up, like I want to go, and then I choose, okay, I'm gonna go with you. So set your boundaries, like you will set with a partner or with a boyfriend or with in your work or whatever. No one can come to me unless I know who it is, what it's coming from, and what it is, that transmission, if that makes sense. But that transmission is not going to be the gibberish sounds that I'm making, like kata, ra, 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 whatever. It is the feeling. Yes? What you feel is your message. So maybe this just represents healing. It's not that each symbol is a word. It doesn't work like that. It's like, what do you feel when you are in love? Maybe I feel, if I see someone that I love, maybe I feel sensual, maybe I feel happy, maybe I feel relaxed, maybe I feel at ease, maybe I feel safe, maybe I feel connected. But we're all going to have different expressions of what being in love it is, because it depends on which partner or maybe your pet or your kids that you feel that love that's being emanated. Does that make sense? So light language comes from your soul, but it has a filter of Pleiadian, Arcturian, dragons, or whatever. It may sound alike, but it's going to feel the same. Like, for example, water can be a river, like liquid water, can be ice, can be steam. It's the same element. Yes, of course, it's the same, but it looks different, it feels different, have different purposes. This is how light language serves. It is very powerful and very easy way to do because we're not using the mind. The mind, it is connected to the old way of spirituality, where you have to go through a lot of karma and suffer a lot to ascend. New Earth is all about being in connection with God, with Source, your inner being, the universe, whatever you call it, and from there you pull whatever that you want to experience. That is not wrong or right. It's about what we prefer to do. Like, for example, in the old energy, we will say past lives. In the new energy, past lives doesn't exist because it's all in 1 second. So it is soul aspects, counterparts, or doppelganger, or soul extensions, if that makes sense. Another thing, if for me Pleiadians look blue and for other Pleiadians look bronze skin, for other Pleiadians are going to look Asian, for other people Pleiadians are going to look Nordic or very alien. It is because I am connecting with the Pleiadian in my Akashic records, but it's not equal for all. Chelsea may have different Pleiadian type. When I have going to Atlantis that I do the drawings, everyone has a different Atlantis. My Atlantis suck because it was heavy. It was not about love and light. It was about power and knowledge, and it was misused. But some people Atlantis is so organic, so beautiful that I say, God, that's lovely. So not everyone, reptilian or gray or mantis, is going to be the same because it's just what it is in your oversoul. Nothing can come to me that doesn't match me. It's like, for example, let's say that I want to breed my cat and I put a plant next to it. It cannot be because they are not in one and the same. They have different frequencies. Plants go with plants, animals with animals, humans with whatever, if that makes sense. At least right now. I don't know what will happen in the future, but it's kind of the way that I perceive. So before opening the channel, when you are new and you don't have a lot of experience or confidence in yourself, because when I trust myself, I'm okay with whatever happened because I know I'm gonna be okay, and I say I got this. I don't care the economy, I don't care the weather, the astros, whatever, because I am in alignment with my source. But when I am not, even a feather feels like pain because I have areas of opportunity to be more aligned, if that makes sense. Because being in alignment, being connected to source, it is like love that never ends, that may feel peace, may feel joy. Sometimes you cry, but it's a beautiful cry. Sometimes I cry with the clients in the sessions, and it's just intimate. It's just so beautiful because angels come on whoever, and then tears or joy, and then you said, oh my God, this is so beautiful. So a lot of things can come to you when you do light language, and it is light language. It is in balance. It's going to feel good, and it's going to bring whatever you need in the now. Yes? So if I do light language right now for whatever race you guys want me to do, I'm going to receive my own package of frequencies, and each of you will receive your own. We don't receive the same, and we all collectively will receive one message, like, for example, Pleiadians or Mary Magdalene or Joshua, if that makes sense. So if I do a code for someone, that someone is going to get what they need, but someone else is not using their energy. Not at all, because the code, it's not me or that person, it's from source. It's an expression of the light. So you guys will receive, if you need to use it, whatever you want to, that you need. And if you don't need anything, maybe you won't get anything, if that makes sense. And it's not that we use someone else's energy, because for my understanding, we are all one. And this is my universe, and I invite each of you into my universe to show me something that maybe I will enjoy, maybe you guys will trigger me, maybe we'll be friends, maybe we won't, if that makes sense. I am creating this solution for me, but in reality, I am in source, and each of you are in source, having the greatest time of your life. And that it is what your higher self is. Your higher self is the aspect of you that don't have to do karma, don't have to learn, don't have to remember, don't have to do anything, because it's in the source. If you already eat and someone's offer you food, you said, I'm okay because I'm full right now, right? You don't need to eat anymore because you are full. So when you and I are in alignment with the source, we don't need anything because we are complete. Yes? I hope that makes sense. So, when light language comes through sound, maybe I'm not a singer, but each sound, even though may not be the correct pitch, it is because it will be in a frequency that sometimes is annoying, especially galactic ones, because they are tuning something. Like, for example, Arcturians, to me, when they're doing some healing, I'm gonna hear like a metal sound, like kind of like looking for a radio and not finding anything. And sometimes it's not pleasant, but it is because they work through sound, magnetics, healing, and light, colors, things like that, to do a healing. So they are tuning my frequency, finding a radio channel where they can come through, if that makes sense. That's why the majority of my meditations are going to have some weird sounds on it, because they always come through and mess with my computer, my phone, my microphone. Every month or 2 months I have to change everything, because the galactic frequency sometimes is going to mess with the electronicas because it's too high. Sometimes you get upset and say, guys are gonna have to purchase this stuff. Aren't you that high that you don't know how to treat a computer or a phone or whatever? But it is because maybe the light is too high and the technology is not ready to hold that high frequency, if that makes sense. Sometimes galactics or guys are gonna sound like pitch tones in your ear, like, and it's annoying too. Or sometimes I feel like if actually a needle it's in, and I say, oh, what's going on? And sometimes they're not aware. Some guides, because they don't have body, they're not like that accustomed to our physicality. So with anything that you feel during meditation or light language or whatever healing that doesn't feel comfortable, you guys can ask, okay, what's going on? Ground me, or that hurts or whatever, and they will step back instantly, because that's happened to me. So interact with your energy. Each sound will come into us a fledge of frequency that it will re-educate what we are vibrating, but whatever we need. Does that make sense? Because if I do Arcturians, I think I'm going to do Arcturians because I'm talking to them a lot. Let's say that Chelsea or Brad or Lori are going to have their own direct connection that doesn't get contaminated for anyone else. Does that make sense? Unless you need to learn something as part of your journey and you said, I want to be blended with everyone, or whatever. Does that make sense? But at the beginning, before doing the light language, set your intentions. Like, for example, I only am going to do Pleiadians until I know how they'll feel for me and how they sound for me. And then next month, Arcturians, next month, Dragons, or whatever. For me, not all light language I enjoy it, and some light language I will reject it, because it's like when you are going to a restaurant and you look the whole menu to see what you like to eat. It's not because I cannot do that. It's more like, for me, it's just like, no, thank you, right? But sometimes it's part of my lesson to go out of my comfort zone, like when I have sang, and go for it, if that makes sense. Let me see if you guys have questions, because I think I would like to do a little bit of light language. You are sensitive and you feel the good and things you receive, it's heaven. It's just like, oh my goodness. So good. Let me see if I have questions. I don't have questions. I don't know why. Not in my phone. So maybe I should do the light language so you guys ask me again. And I will start with Arcturian, and then I'm gonna end, and then I'm going to let you guys know, and then I'm going to do just movement. But movement, actually, for the ones that are going to be with me in the course, I'm gonna do a video. But the movement, it's more like your own way. It's not that you guys need to copy or see whatever else is doing. I do think yoga, mudras are language of the light. I do think chants are language of the light. Tongues is language of the light, of course. Sound, toning, what else? What else? What else? When you activate your light language, also, because our mind, thank you, Sarah, for being here, because our mind is not in the way, every other sense will activate it. Like for me, when I'm doing light language or channeling, I smell things that I normally don't smell. And it's how I know I'm channeling sometimes, or I have beams of light. Sometimes my third eye open, or I have a physical sensation that let me know that I'm channeling. When you do the movement, it's more like feeling, and then I feel like we become the patient and the doctor, if that makes sense, or the healer, whatever you want to call it. It's like moving your chakras, your meridians, your thing, and then feeling what else you should do. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I think, well, I have the comments. I will start with the light language, and I'm gonna do a durians. Yes. Let me drink water. Guess. Set your intention for whatever you would like to receive. Adjust the sound, because my volume tends to go low. You don't have to listen to the words I said. It doesn't matter. Pay attention to what you feel in your body. You guys could breathe and tune into your breathing and then listen. But the breathing, it doesn't have to be a forced breathing. Just like as if you will be a baby, like a newborn, and then just have to do it like very gently because it's so delicate. Let's go with that. Put yourself comfortable. Close your eyes. Let's bring your higher self, you guys, and you guys can set your intentions or be open for whatever you would like to receive. And I'm going to do pure light language. So you guys practice throughout your intuition, your sensations, the sound, the smell, the knowing, and just tune into your breathing. You can do it with your mouth open or closed, but just very gentle. Just being aware. Greetings. We're Doctors of the Light, and we are part of the Channel Soul family, but also the ones that are here will connect only through your own Arcturian soul extension. You can set your intention for what you would like to receive. We work with tools of light, tools of sound, tools of magnetic frequency that vibrate at unconditional love. The energy is blissful, is gentle, is soothing, and each of you will receive what you need now, not more, not less. Let's begin. Ti ashka se ki te ki ako ma eki eshkate esekori itiriashka. Ni ha ma ekiate sekoriana. Iha ma ea te esa oko. Iana ku iti eseko mira teriasara ushkianiaka. Iti ese iki ishka oko ina ase eki owe kiena areasera ma iki ishka. Hu ha nietia sako iki ashka. Inni ese okuriate a ashka ese ikiena kuri iti ara asa oku inea. Ish ate iseki eko oti ase eki eshka ko. Inni niate asao kiera tereka. Ni a ti ashka sa ate aku iti ikieka mani ate ashka ni asere etria ake ashka koma iki eneki ako di asera oku ushka miate seko di ashke seko di akiana I ashke seko di ete eki aka mi tu uso ma eki akorianana hu asa eki eshka wa niar ure siri araku iti eshka po eki ana. And if you would like to practice the movement light language, don't get outside of the channel. Try to breathe yourself in and just sense your body. It's better to practice when you're not live and when you're not with anyone. Sometimes there's things you can do that with a partner that you have, and it's a beautiful thing for both of you to play around with the energy and with the love frequency at the same time. enjoy the connection, because light language, it is love-based frequency, because this is what God is. And whatever thing make us tune into that love source that we all have and that we all can access, it's like heaven, whether that is light language or yoga or meditation or crystals or sensing your body or Buddhism, mindfulness. Any technique will help us to tune into what we already have, that it's not dormant, it's just we're not paying attention to, if that makes sense. So this is what is being in your center, being in your vortex, being aware about what's happening to you. And then if you sense pain or course or heaviness or anything, then it is for us to rectify. Like, for example, let's say that you are going to go to sleep, and then you check the doors, the windows, the stove, it's everyone is sleeping or anything, and then you go ahead. It's kind of like checking in that I'm not gonna fall asleep and the door is gonna be open because maybe someone is gonna enter or something. So we are all healers, we can all channel, we can all do everything. Sometimes we're not into that technique, that could be, and it's okay, because our soul is different and each soul is going to have different preferences. But whatever that works out for you, find your own synergy with it, more than the steps to do it that the teacher gave to you, because it is like using the wrong recipe. I hope that makes sense. There are some recipes that are collective agreements to we receive benefit, but allow yourself to create your own recipes, your own steps, whatever works out for you. And this is something that light language helps, because we're not using the mind. We're like clueless sometimes, like, okay, let's see what happened. And it is more between the soul and your spirit and your knowledge or whatever that we have vibrating already in our aura is going to be what will come through. Or thank you so much. If you are a healer, then it's going to be what you perceive from whoever you are connecting with throughout your own resonance, if that makes sense. I don't think anyone heals. That is my own perception. I do harmonize the fields. You guys choose to heal each other, but if someone chooses not to heal, it's not because it's my fault or anything. It is because maybe it wasn't meant to be yet. Maybe you weren't ready for that, and that's fine, if that makes sense. Everything, one way or another, we like it or not, is going to be in divine plan, in divine order, in whatever is meant to be for the highest good for all of us. I hope that makes sense. And it's all about tuning into our own intuition and our own perception and what we feel drawn to do it. And maybe our intentions are going to change. Like the intentions that I had, I think 6 years ago, my goal was to learn Reiki, and I wished that for a long time because I couldn't pay for it. I couldn't afford it. And I remember that in a meditation, I heard that you should do Reiki, and I was just like, oh my God, when I learn Reiki, I'm going to be a badass, and I'm going to heal people, and I'm going to heal myself. And it was all I wanted to do. And probably now I have different things. But one of my goals, it is that I would like, instead of giving you guys the recipe, telling you guys how I can make my recipes, so you guys are your own channelers and your own healers and your own thing. Because I think it's part of being sovereign and being responsible and being in charge of my destiny and my free will and what I want to happen in my universe. It's like driving my car or being in the back seat and asking someone to drive for me because I haven't learned how to drive, if that makes sense. That's why I started to teach, and I teach whatever I'm practicing in myself, not because I'm better with you, I'm better than you or anything. It is because maybe it's the agreement that we have, and I learn a lot from you guys, and you guys learn from me, I hope. Let me drink a little bit of water because I feel like my voice is changing, and see if I have any questions. This is just me, says Hazel. I have pain, dark, enter always. My chakras are blocked. I don't know what to do. I am a medium and I stop now, just healing myself. 60. Okay. Look, Hazel. It's all about beliefs and perceptions. This is what I do for myself. I notice when I have beliefs that are not serving me anymore, and sometimes I need a little bit of time, so I build a new belief. Like, for example, I used to smoke, and whenever I quit smoking, I was using gums or lollipops, so I need to do something in my mouth to ease the anxiety. But then when I started meditating, I didn't need to smoke anymore because I did not have that anxiety, if that makes sense. So I changed the insomnia that I had, the depression that I had, the smoking that I had, for meditation and all the goodness that bring into my life. So try to, whatever, Hazel, whatever you are doing, it hasn't been working out for you. So try to innovate new things. But I will suggest that work out with your own beliefs. Take an inventory about what you think is happening to you, and then scratch those and create new beliefs that are going to assist you. But you have to honestly believe that it's not at the energy level. We cannot fake it. That's why sometimes when we do affirmations, it doesn't work out the way we want it, because we truly don't believe that. There is some belief that conflicts that I affirm I am enough, for example. Maybe something says, no, I'm not, I feel unworthy, or something. So when we have beliefs that conflicts, we have blocks, and then it's hard for us to flow. But one I will suggest you to do, it is when you wake up, set the intention that you will flow and you are not blocked, because the more that you feel and sense that you're blocked, the more blocked you will be, because it's your command, if that makes sense. I do that for myself. And then you can say something like that. First of all, I'm honest with the limitation that I feel I have. And maybe I will say something like, God, I have been struggling with my body. I feel like my chakras are blocked, and then I have pain, but I'm very comfortable that the support that I have for God in me and my higher self confirm that I'm in the process, that with ease and grace and without any effort, my chakras will flow divinely as they are designed to, if that makes sense. The way that we can change a belief, at least for me, I do it for myself. I'm honest with my darkness and my limitation, but I don't end the sentence in the negative perception. I allow it to be open, knowing that I am what I'm meant to be, that God have me, that my higher self, that I have many guides, that I have wisdom, that I'm an all soul. So one way or another, I will figure out with ease and grace or whatever. So end it with a positive affirmation. A simple way to self-heal, it's speak to you in a positive way. I hope that makes sense. Set the intention to heal your body. Set that every day. I do that. I tell to my body, let's just be friends. And if you need anything, let me know in whatever way. I'm open. And I'm having dreams. My nails were so long because of the vitamins and things, that I dream that I was cutting my nails. So my body let me know that I need to cut my nails, and then I said, fuck, it is so embarrassing. But after COVID, because I am connected with my body is giving me dreams about what I need according to what my body feels. I wasn't doing it, if that makes sense. Let me see if I have any other questions. Georgina says, I used to see symbols like that, many colors before going to sleep. I don't see them anymore. What happened? I think you create resistance, and maybe because you didn't know what it was or something. And then when guys are in higher frequency and they think we're gonna get scared or resistance or something that is not from the light, they step back. I remember that I got connected with a mantis and I was very new. I didn't even have my Reiki attunements yet. But I could feel almost like the insect arms, kind of like that. And then it was so weird. And I was just seeing like one big eye, like kind of like bee eye like that. And then I said, okay, are you a mantis? And then it just felt like the answer it was yes, because I was not hearing anything. And then I said, oh, I'm very curious, show yourself. And I was telling, show yourself, but it never showed himself. So he knew I was going to freak out and it was not going to be a good thing for me. So it was respectful. So I kind of understood that. And I was grateful for that, if that makes sense. If something didn't happen, it wasn't meant to be. If the things happen, sometimes guys are going to push us because they know we are ready and we have what it takes, but we are in our comfort zone. That's why sometimes we're going to have things that we don't understand, that we don't like, maybe entities, nightmares, things that we said, fuck, why am I having this? But it's all pre-organized by my higher mind and my soul. Thank you so much, Hazel. Appreciate it. Light language will help you because you will to heal, because we normally don't have resistance because we are not into the steps, because it's just like, I don't know what they're saying, what they are doing, but feels good, so I'm gonna go for it, kind of like that. That's why it's powerful to heal and quickly. Let me thank you so much. Set the intention and allow. That's actually right, Chelsea, but allow to come in whatever way it's meant to be, that I'm ready to receive. Because sometimes our expectations can create blocks or forcing the way that we believe it should be. Like when I didn't want to put myself out there, sharing what was happening to me, that I was using my middle name, that I didn't want to open the page. I had resistance to be seen. I didn't want people to know I was that weird. And when I give up my resistance, thank you so much, Berta, I realized that it was actually a good thing. Last night, I saw a spirit guy look like a warrior that looked like a big strong. That's awesome. Guides are from, this is where I think other people might disagree, guides are for sixth dimension beings of light. They will look in whatever way we need so we can connect. We give them permission to be seen, if that makes sense. And they may change. It's not that you guys quit, it's just that they change because you are changing. I hope that makes sense. If you had an attack, it's not because you guys wouldn't break and they forgot about you. It is because they organized the attack in conspiracy with you, so you'll learn something or do something for whatever you are clearing, if that makes sense. Everything that happened, it sort of started from an intention that I sent out that's coming back to me. Maybe it's not an intention that I'm aware of, or maybe it's an intention that I sent long time ago, or another aspect of me, or something that it needs to be harmonized. So maybe I'm gonna push into darkness so I can receive a benefit that I'm not seeing, but that I'm receiving, and so the other part, and so the whole thing, if that makes sense. Nothing happened out of the blue, but just that black. Everything is in divine order as it's meant to be. Even though we have free will to choose in what way we go, when we shift path, it instantly reharmonizes into divine order and highest good. I hope that makes sense. Let me see if I have any question before. My voice is in and out because guys are working with me after COVID. I think my language is going to change, so I'm healing something that is taking a while for me to heal. So I have this voice that sometimes I lose my voice, but I think it's part of the process. I'm not seeing any questions. Any last questions that you guys have? Disregard whatever you don't agree with me. It's fine. You don't have to believe what I believe. You have to believe what works for you. So take whatever is going to feed from your own life and your own destiny, and make your own choices. It's okay to hear whatever others are having and happening. So we kind of have different options for us to choose, but then sit with yourself and then create whatever version that you want to believe, that you are choosing to believe. I'm going to end with a little bit of life language, 2 minutes, just to integrate and recalibrate whatever we understood, didn't understood, that we receive, and just to close with high frequency for the rest of the weekend. And I think next week I'm gonna do a live probably Monday. I'm gonna post so I do the energy review for the month of February. A lot of things are happening, a lot of changes, guys. Ground, because Earth and the collective and the frequencies are gonna be pulling, stretching like a rubber band. And if we are not in charge of our own alignment and peace, and whatever you feel that you enjoy being with when you are connected to your own source, is going to feel intense, because it is a major awakening being prepared. There is a lot of things conflicting, colliding at the energy level. So whatever you feel you should do, go for it. I wasn't sure if starting the Way Shower program it was good because we're in Mercury retrograde, but actually it's a good thing because we have new moon in Aquarius, and it's represent all about new beginnings. So when I was checking the astrology, I said, God, I didn't know that it was in alignment to start a new beginning. So if you guys would like to be just like a sneak peek in balance for the rest of the year, try to get something new starting for the next moon. Set your intentions, but don't only set the intentions at the energy level. Physically, seek something new class, new book, something, new crystal, or whatever, new affirmation, new mantra, whatever new you invite. That means that the timeline that you had, it's gone, and you are stepping into a new timeline. I hope that makes sense. And with that, for the ones that haven't asked me, the 1st of February I'm gonna send the material, and then we can set the appointment for a one-on-one. The first month is mechanics of manifestation for New Earth, and I'm eager. I have been practicing for 3 months. That's why I'm doing all those morning codes and love codes, and it's working out for me. So I'm eager and excited to start this new journey that is going to last like a year, the Way Short course. I still have spaces if you want to look it out. It is a course to learn from what I have learned and I'm still learning about channeling, healing, manifestation, greed, timelines, astral travel, all of the things. And at the end, it's going to be like a certification. So you guys can use it for yourself, maybe upgrade what you already know or remember what you already learned. And at the same time, do it for yourself, for your family, or maybe work as a healer or something, because it will give you the foundation to recalibrate your light in a new way. And whoever is meant to be there, I'm sure it's going to be light changing, because I'm setting that intention. I didn't ask for 20 or 30 or 40 or 5 people. I asked for whoever is ready and whoever is willing and open to doing that journey with me. And for me, it has been life changing. I started with COVID and then my cat gets sick, and then I sent my kids with my ex, which I thought was gonna be a bad idea, but I love being alone in the house. It's so delightful. and it has been transformational for me. And I'm sure in your own way, I'm not saying that you guys won't go through things like me, because we're all different, but I'm sure it's going to teach you a lot more than what I can share with you guys. So with that, I'm going to allow your guides, your higher self, just to ground and recalibrate. With that, I have fairies. If you can, just breathe, stay present, and ground yourself in whatever way that is comfort for you. This frequency is joyful. Have fairies que te ashka korikira karasara ko oshka. Mate ekiara turu osere, tiria saragur oshka. Titi tara 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 oro oro otri asara aki ashka. Burru ati ashka sara turu mari aki ashka. Turru kuriaga tara asa. Ni ashka sa ate eki ashka kori ake aka. Urua ishka se te iki ata ako ama ate ashka oto ose aki ashka te oko ukiana. Ti ashka te eka ti ika te oke ete ashka te mare eteria asara kore ete de koro duru sara atere ashka ete akara mare eteria kara kianana. Buria sa ashka ti eki ata akore amare asara otoro oki ashka. Whoo! It was like joyful. That's for me. Thank you so much. I love it. Do something fun this weekend. Fun is actually an easy way to heal, to unblock, and to put ourselves into alignment. So go for it. Don't forget to smile. Have a beautiful weekend, and then see you guys Monday. Bye-bye.